Welcome to Impossible Bodies.
Hello everybody, welcome on this second day of Impossible Bodies. I hope you already had a look at the fantastic environment, our virtual environment, our exhibition. And if not, I would really recommend to do so because it's wonderful. Today we have our first event after our opening last night. And we have a talk by Pinar Demirdag, who is a visual and conceptual artist. And this year, she co-founded a production company where she creates leading-edge visual stories through artificial intelligence for film and marketing industries. And you can also see her work together with Viola in the virtual exhibition. So, a warm welcome to Pinar Demirdag.
Thank you very much.
I will bring you up. Wait a second. There you are.
Thank you very much for introducing me. Yes, I'm over the last few years, I cultivated an sort of an expertise in AI and visual language, and I'm very happy to share that with our friends and public. Yeah, whenever you guys are ready, I'll be happy to start my presentation.
Yes, please, we're ready.
Yeah, okay, great. All right. All good? Yes. So, how AI will shape the future of our visuals. The presentation starts with a short clip by one of my favorite AI artists, Lulu. I will be showing more examples of these special AI visuals from her work or the works of other artists, and my work in my new company and my work with Viola. So I would like to start my presentation with a quote by one of my favorite films, Artificial Intelligence. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, but basically it's a movie that is by Steven Spielberg about the future where we will be normalizing the presence of AIs in our lives. And the AI expert in that movie, which knows everything about AI, says the greatest single human gift is the ability to chase down our dreams. And my entire approach to AI in leading it, curating it, and making creativity through AI, I would like to have this sentence as my motto, to never forget that I am the one that is gifted as a human and not AI. And AI is only there to execute my dreams. It's to help me execute my vision and to realize my dreams in a faster speed or in a different speed that I can. So I just would like to start with my values, what I believe, like I shall never forget that I am the special one when working with AI and not put the all and pedestal on AI, but always put the pedestal of human consciousness, the human gift, the human dream, the human power of interpretation when working with AI. So for me, AI is a high processing algorithm that can analyze, create information at a rate our human minds cannot comprehend. What makes me different than AI is that I am conscious. My essence is love, freedom, transcendence, whereas AI is there with a high computational power, helping me execute my vision. So our difference, I can interpret, inspire, create all, and AI is a computational task. That is the reason why, in my opinion, my belief is that in the age of AI, we need to accentuate leaning more than ever on what makes us different than the machine, our emotional selves. If not, I truly believe that if we keep on having, if like, for me, AI is like you cannot escape from it. It's there, it's coming, it will be all encompassing, it will be part of our lives. If ever we are there and choose to be scared from it, choose to not understanding, we will create scenarios where humans will be afraid of AI. If we are afraid of something, we create situations where we will become afraid of it, where we will regret it. That's why at this very new technology, I'm head start jumping on it and eager to create situations, scenarios, and artworks where projects where we are utilizing it on our well-being, on executing our dreams. So, okay, I will start introducing what I do and what I have been doing with AI. The reason why I'm here today is because Ine and Morgan invited Viola and I's work, a work of ours, Panspermia, which is an artwork made in the form of a music video. Actually, it is the world's first music video made entirely with artificial intelligence. So the one on the left is me, the one on the right is Viola, now my ex-work partner. A little insight about what we have been doing. We are an artist duo specialized in creating visuals from diverse backgrounds, always with meaning. So some highlights of our work, 2017, we had a special collection in all IKEAs in the world where we were invited by IKEA to bring the joy of our visuals into their products, to bring artworks into everyday lives, to democratize artworks through IKEA products, which was great. It sold out very quickly. Unfortunately, it's no longer available, but it was in all IKEAs in the world. Another highlight right now, our works, a series of our artwork can be seen in Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam, where we fantasized about the future of political scandals. It's interesting. If you're in Amsterdam, it would be nice to see. And like completely totally else, even though we are heavily present in technology, we also have stained glass windows in Amsterdam in a synagogue, so it's fun. But why this visual artist is talking to me about AI? Like, I would like to explain you I would like to call it, I'm eager to say it, a magical story, because in 2017, Viola and I received an email from Google Arts and Culture, the Cultural Institute, the culture section of Google Global in Paris, is that they were explaining to us that Google Zürich, the brain lab of Google in Zurich, I would call it a genius scientist, this accidentally discovered a way to visualize how AI's artificial neurons can perceive visual reality. I'm going to explain this again. So imagine if I have this, like if you're having dinner with me and if you say, Pinar, can you please pass me the salt? Even though I haven't glanced at the table at the salt container, just because my brain cells have been seeing a million different salt containers, I can identify the salt container on the table without having any effort. So Google's brain lab in Zurich could visualize what happens in our brains at that very second of attempting to visualize something. And it looks accidentally like Pinar&Viola's body of work. What you're seeing here on the first row is the first attempts of Google's deep dream visualizations of futures in the world, futures of plants, futures of eyes, futures of cells. And as you can see, the second row is 4 examples from Pinar&Viola's fashion patterns. And then when you squint your eyes, it's very similar. So Google calls us and be like, hi girls, so we have this technology in our hands. It looks cool, but we don't know what to do with. Maybe we can do a project together and you can do something that connects this invention with a larger audience. And this picture, thank God, like I'm very grateful for this opportunity. We did wonderful things with Google. And last year in 2019, I was at their annual event in I/O in Silicon Valley to present this work to all Google enthusiasts. So a little background about Deep Dream, you must be familiar with it. Like I believe they came out with this technology 4 years ago, where this, like it was like a bit of like it broke the internet basically. It became an internet phenomena. So this technology finds, so you train a machine with an unlimited set of images, like millions, thousands, whatever, and then you apply that. Yeah, so this data set is trained with eyes and dogs. So what it's trying to do is that it's trying to reconstruct dog eyes and dog visuals into any image that you're feeding it with. So here, I intentionally chose this because it's the Starry Night of Vincent van Gogh. So it's AI's data sets attempt to reconstruct the Starry Night of Van Gogh with the data set that he has. So it's a 2-minute clip about what we did in collaboration with Google 2 years ago.
We are Pinar and Viola. We're an artist duo and we're here at Google Arts and Culture Lab.
The lab is a place located in Paris at the Google office. We have artists in residence to create new things around arts and culture.
We're working with Alex on a very exciting project. The tool that Alex is making is something that is not completely different than the way we create as Pinar and Viola.
It's a very interesting story. They came to Paris to visit the lab and they saw patterns created by a machine learning network. And they loved it because it was very similar to what they were created. So they asked us if they could do something with this team. Deep Dream was originally invented to help scientists and researchers to understand what the deep neural network was seeing when it was looking at a pattern or a specific image. Alex created a tool that allows Pinar and Viola to input an image and then have a machine learning algorithm working on the images. And then at the end you get some very dreamlike images that are super interesting with amazing patterns.
Deep Dream was a side effect of my series of experiments when I tried to understand the inner mechanics of modern generation of artificial neural networks.
Let's say you input a very simple image of a butterfly within the tool. The algorithm will find patterns and enhance the patterns and will give as a result an image which could come from a dream. And then Pinar and Viola rework the image and the result is full of colors, you can see some repetitions and it's really beautiful.
Alex and Google, they're giving us like the ultimate assistant, capable of creating such a tool that no human can create. This machine learning neural net assistant is capable of dreaming of new landscapes that we can never visualize.
AI art makes people who are outside of computer science engage with conversation about those things.
I'm really surprised by the final images. The end result is a beautiful chaos. Today, everyone can use this tool around the world and have these dreamlike images of their own.
So as it is explained, as it is explained in the documentary, as Pinar and Viola, we created, Google made a special tool for us to be able to create fashion patterns and made this tool public under the name like Make Art Like Pinar and Viola in collaboration with the creator of Deep Dream, Alex Morvintsev. So I would like to show you a few examples of what we did. So it's super interesting. Like here, what you see on the bottom right is the input that we placed, which is a DNA string. And together with AI, we could create this fashion pattern. Like I could never make this as a human being because I don't think linear. I think flat. I think of, Newtonian physics. I learned that when at school. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Whereas AI doesn't think like that. Like, look at this flower pattern. Like, AI does not see such a thing as background and the foreground. For it, everything is one. As it doesn't think linear, it has the capacity to create recursive images. Images that come, in my opinion, from the quantum thinking world. This is when I place the input as a peacock, this is what I got in return. But of course, like what I would like to highlight here, my first sentence, humanity's biggest asset is its capacity to dream, is that AI did not create this. I created it as a human being with the help of AI. Like, I have been given the parameters to morph the visual in such a way that I would get an outcome according to my own aesthetical filter. But at a certain point, things became very interesting. I started experimenting with, in my opinion, the building blocks of our reality. Here is what you see on the bottom right is a Buckminster Fuller molecule. When I placed that and I played with the parameters, I could get a pattern of turtles. What does that mean? Like, I would like to invite you, like, these mathematical beauty that is the construction of our reality. I could prove that with our work with Google AI. When I placed a Nautilus, I could receive, in my interpretation, evolution in return as a fashion print. And that was very interesting. Buddhist yantra, you know, in Tantric Buddhism, it is believed that when you focus on a Buddhist yantra too much, like, you can rise above the duality with your meditation practice. And in return, we could receive a pattern that looks for me like a Turkish or a Peruvian carpets. And later on, we took these patterns and made paintings, oil paintings, compositions. That is an ultimate collaboration between human and machine intelligence. Later on, I was like, okay, this whole AI technology is fascinating for me. I have to dive in deep. And Richard Thomas Foundation, a Berlin-based foundation that invests in musical artists and upcoming arts, commissioned us to make a music video for an enigmatic artist called ASCII. I believe the soundtrack of Impossible Bodies is also from ASCII, so it's a nice correlation. And in collaboration, as Pinar&Viola, in collaboration with the neural artist Sofia Crespo, we made this artwork that was first launched as a music video for ASCII that is currently in view in Impossible Bodies digital exhibition. I wish to share it with you. We can watch it together, and then I will be giving more insights about how we made it. background about why we made it like that and how we made it. The reason why I wanted to use AI in the making of this music video is because the moment I listened to the song, I mean, it's a bit of a, again, magical, weird thing maybe, but I saw how the world was made. Weird enough, like I saw how, I mean, basically panspermia is this alternative scientific theory that evolution on this earth did not happen on Earth basis, but the first seed of human life was delivered on Earth through an asteroid impact by superior civilizations than humans. Basically, we are all aliens. And the interesting thing is that the scientific theory panspermia, that is quite alternative, is introduced for the first time by the two Swiss scientists that discovered DNA. So it's not science fiction based, but absolute scientific theory based. So when I first was introduced at this idea, it's just never left from my mind, especially since we are in the age of colonizing other planets with SpaceX and Virgin. So I find it very important as an artist to tackle the origin of our species, since we are attempting to do the same to other planets. So, and AI can create visuals, in my opinion, that do not have quote unquote human origin, that look like as if they are done by a superior civilization, or that are done, that are our dreams or hallucinations or astral journeys. So why we, like how we did this, these two clips that you are seeing, the one on the left underwater and the one on the right, for the one on the left, for the underwater sea creatures, we had to train the algorithm, the machine, aka the AI, with 50,000 different underwater images that are handpicked. How is it gonna happen? How did we do that? Together with Sofia Crespo, we identified and downloaded over 100,000 images online with the tag underwater sea creatures. But when you download images called underwater sea creatures, you also get a lobster hanging from a man's mouth, which we are not interested, of course, in our data set. So by hand, we had to clear each image. It's quite a hefty process. And the one on the left is trained on a data set that already exists, that Google put out there in the name of GANs, of apes, evolution, creatures. And we have this short video, like a 1-minute video on the making, how did we do it? Like all this code and our work with Sofia. Maybe I will show it another time. So what I believe that AI thinks and creates nonlinear visual outcomes. We are human, our perception of reality is limited and nonlinear. Like I explained, I think yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Whereas a quantum operating machine does not have such a mind-based limitations, as AI does not have a mind. And that is the reason why its creations are recursive. They look like nothing we already know and reminds us of dreamscapes. The moment when I completed panspermia, I had an awakening moment that I wish to share it with you. I'm very interested in quantum thinking, multiverses, parallel universes. These are all like, they are no longer alternative theories. They are like, as Einstein started at the end of his life, like there is this, as humans, we can explain this whole reality that we are touching with Newtonian physics. But after all, there is this little, this macro, micro, and macro universe that requires another set of scientific theory. It doesn't make any sense. So it is time for us to think about a unified theory like Nassim Haramein is currently working on. And as a visual artist, I believe that if you can visualize something it is much more helpful for us to be able to talk about it. So I have this quantum thinking, multiverse, parallel universes theory at the back of my mind that requires a visual explanation for me. And then I have been going into this altered states of consciousness experiences, ayahuasca journeys, DMTs, where I could see a reality that looks like this, that I don't see in my everyday bookshelf, Pinar, screen, friend, identifiable life, where things look absolutely different than my waking self. And we are in the age of consciousness. The word of I am conscious, I'm a conscious being, I have an awareness, where we're talking about these things are much more normalized. There came my awakening moment where I can use, as a visual artist, AI to talk about emotions, to talk about the invisible world, to talk about these astral journeys, multiverses, theories that my waking self cannot identify, and words are not enough. What you're seeing here are two visual artworks by two different AI artists, Ido and How to Zero. You can find them in Twitter. And then my journey to fascination with AI visuals began after making Panspermia. So again, Lulu, the AI artist that I showed at the beginning, that is a good friend, but also a collaborator. Look what is happening. You're seeing a clip by a woman talking to you, and with different applications of different styles trained by algorithm, we can talk about a different human perception. Like I can talk to you about, you see the world not as it is, but as you are. Here it is. I could prove it to you with visuals. We can talk about it through this visual example. Or look at another clip by Lulu. The same image applied with different filters. This is a clip, what you have seen as a short clip. Lulu trained the machine in Beatles' Yellow Submarine, and could apply to the image. Like, you do not only listen to the music, we could talk about your feelings when you are listening to that music. It's a completely recursive, holistic way of thinking. Now we are not only thinking on or experiencing in our meditation journeys or astral travels. Here is, I'm showing to you a visual language where we could visualize these unexplainable sensations. And another example, on the right by Refik Anadol, on the left by Jeanne Kogan, two AI artists. We can talk about how it feels to experience becoming one with nature, the transcending sensations, when this euphoria of feeling one with all that exists, that is being told in all different religions. The very essence of religion is this euphoria of feeling one with all that exists. For me, I find it very unfortunate that in our mind-based, material-based reality, we are feeling a dismantling reality of nature. Here it is, because I am human, I think therefore I am, and I am human, that is a separate object. Whereas thanks to the presence of AI visuals, I could start a new conversation about our unity with all there is. Another example by Jeanne Kogan again, like an innovative, super innovative AI artist that is absolutely pushing the boundaries of AI. I highly recommend following you if you are not already. This is a data set trained by cars, and look, like when you are, I don't know, with maybe 11 years of visual artist experience, my mind explodes when I see that image. And I see unlimited capacity of implementing this in the future of film and marketing. Imagine this done in the most slick manner about the future of car commercials. Wow, I would like car commercials always talk about the same thing. Me, my handsome guy, we're driving this car, nice landscape, this is how it makes me feel. Hello, how about can we talk about other things? Can we talk about how like another sensations with cars? Another examples by all the, like I am crediting all the artists on the bottom of my screen that worked in making this mosaic. Like with our, like look what's happening with Leonardo DiCaprio. You can have his face trained by AI and apply it to a panda, or you can make an artwork talk, or you can make a building talk, or you can give shape to Mona Lisa in the way you want it to be. Wow. Hello, can we implement this to the film industry, please? Can someone become a bridge between AI, experimental, extreme new visuals and the mainstream film and advertising world? And how about this diversity campaigns? This visual is made, I believe, by How Zero again, but I may be mistaken, with a data set trained on different types of women. Like, look at this. How, like, we're all talking about diversity. We're all talking about becoming one. We're all talking about each human being given equal opportunities. I do not know. I think that AI visuals is humanity's biggest capacity, latest capacity, highest capacity on talking about diversity and becoming one, becoming whole, that we are stronger when we are becoming one. So what happened? So I had this awakening moment 2 years ago, and as Pinar and Viola in 2011, what you're seeing here is a short clip by a music video we did for the infamous Diplo, the DJ Diplo, American DJ Diplo. And while doing that in 2011, Viola and I, we used face mask. You know what we have like in Instagram, anywhere, everywhere now. So we're talking about how many years ago? 2011. It's like 10 years ago almost. Viola and I, we had to, like, I was the one who's like, hey, Viola, we have to have an app, like a phone app, where we turn people into faces, into animal kingdom, and there they can chat while looking like animals. And then we were like, nah, maybe we focus on making other inventions. Just to give you a time slot, we thought about this in 2011, and 2014 came Snapchat, where they put filters on people's faces and let them chat. I was like, shit, my dream became somebody else's business plan. And then I promised to myself, I will never, ever make that mistake again. And if I ever strongly feel like I have to do something, I'm going to jump on the wagon of my intuition and I'm going to do it. So this year in 2020, I founded a new creative production company where we're creating and producing never before seen content with AI and becoming bridge to the film and advertising world. This is an innovative communications agency with our diverse team of creative thinkers, storytellers, conscious and algorithm leaders. We form a unique agency which creates and produces culturally relevant, never before seen content in our aspiration-led reality. I'm using the word consciousness leaders because as I stated in the beginning of my presentation, that I believe that if the ones that call themselves leaders of AI should lean in my opinion, more than ever to what makes them human. That's why in our agency, we have a consciousness guru. We have a consciousness leader, somebody that is constantly advising us on how to be more loving and how to be more fearless, on how to be more human and never ever let ourselves be the slaves of AI. I find it very important. So these are our values, our Seyhan. Whereas when we have coming from a mind-operated system, which is ego, security, knowing, scarcity, doing, criticism, control, and competitive me-based, we are constantly wanting to operate on AI visuals where we communicate soul, creativity. We constantly experience, we believe in talking about being, gratitude, free, incorporating we when we are working with AI. One of the latest works that we put out there, where we trained the machine on holographic visuals to try to visualize what goes on in the head of a Nike athlete. We trained the machine with 100,000 NBA visuals, again handpicked, and then tried to see like if we can, how can we visualize what goes on in the mind, in the psyche of the athlete. In the games, we're constantly seeing what goes on at the game, but nobody is talking about the aspirations of the athlete. So we have this, this is an internally made project. It's not a commission. It is not a commission by Nike or NBA, but we believe that by having these experimentations, we will be seeing more and more the implementations of that in the film and content industry. So here is a clip that we took on the left of a Nike commercial, and here is what we did on the right, where we trained the machine on tropical landscapes. And I would like to show you a 1-minute clip that we completed a month ago, that I really strive to have the right energy that we all need these days, that is high energy, high inspiration. So here it is. Some other things that we are working on, we're currently working on the music video of British rock artists that will come out very soon. It's amazing. Like here we have trained the machine with images of roses, and it's so wonderful. Like, as you can see, the machine is trying to recreate the original image through the visuals of roses. Same scene, done by images of psychedelia. Like, I get so excited. I get so excited about finally there is a technique where we can talk about dreams, we can talk about feelings, we can talk about the intensity of human creative power. This is an example of a work by an AI artist that I absolutely admire, and that we're working on several collaborations now. This is a work by, it's a short clip that he did for Vogue, Vogue Italy. For me, his name is Ümit Yıldız. I advise you to follow him on Instagram, great work. What he did for me is that we're talking about becoming one with nature. There is no other clip for me that poetically and visually, romantically describes humanity's essential nature, our essence that is one with nature. Another example of the same clip, which is trained by flowers. For me, this is so poetic, so beautiful, so dreamlike. And I wish to see these things. I strive to carry these things, to carry this type of visuals to the industry of film and content making. I would like to conclude my lecture with this visual that basically invites me to think out of the box every day. I have this printed in front of my screen. What you see here as the rainbow, what you see here, is the only visible spectrum of light that is available to the human eye. So this is what we see. What's up with this? What's up with this? Have we ever wondered what's up with this? We're very good in talking about illnesses and politics and stuff, but nobody talks about what is going on in the invisible spectrum of light. And as a visual artist, I strive to visualize or attempt to create visuals that are open for us to talk about the invisible world. So I would like to conclude with the sentence of what is my dream as an artist. My dream is to make use of AI's non-linear visual creation technology to bring into picture the invisible world of human perception, like mystic realities, feelings, emotions, dreams, epiphanies, astral journeys, awakenings. Because I believe that the act of visualizing the intangible cosmic dimension of emotions will invite us humans to challenge our rigid belief system of I only believe in what I see. And I would like to go back to my first starting sentence, which is the greatest single human gift is the ability to chase down our dreams. Let's not forget that Taj Mahal or Eiffel Tower is made as a result of an algorithm conclusion. It is done by humanity's aspirations for a higher reality and its dream to create the majesty of the divine order on earth. Thank you for listening to me.
Thanks so much, Pinar, for your inspiring and passionate talk.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very passionate about the work I do.
So we have some questions I would like to ask, with your
Please.
permission, from some of our viewers. So one is a very practical one. Which museum was your work shown in? It was in the beginning of your presentation.
Yeah, a Stedelijk Museum.
In Amsterdam.
Of all like right now it is being shown in Stedelijk. You can go and see it. Our works, my works with Viola have been acquired by Stedelijk, Museum of the Image Breda, that is now Stedelijk Breda, and Museum für Gestaltung in Zürich. And it has been shown in New Museum, New York, and Museum of Contemporary Art, Santa Barbara. These are the ones that I know, but it's shown in some museums in China and Japan that I cannot recall right now.
But it's too late to go there, so, and we can go there now. So I have another question. What is an unrealized AI project you dream of creating?
Oh, wow.
It's a big question.
Oh, great one. I can talk about it now. It's well, it is not, yeah, great. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So when I founded Seyhan Lee a few months ago, I was like, okay, so I have this dream of, I live in United States now since last year, between Netherlands and United States, but I didn't have the chance to visit Netherlands for the past few months due to world circumstances. So I'm like, okay, I'm in United States, and United States is the country of entertainment and Hollywood. Now that I'm here and I want to bring AI to Hollywood, I have to think about a clever way to make AI visuals understandable to Hollywood directors and production companies. So I commissioned the Emmy-winning writer, Emmy Awards, Emmy, like, you know what it is. So like somebody that is very good in writing scripts, to write a script for me that talks about humanity becoming one with nature. So I cannot give names, but God presented a wonderful opportunity to me in meeting a Academy Award-winning director, Oscar-winning director during my stay in America. It was all like in the same week. It was really like a God winking me again. So I presented the script to him, and I said, I would really like to. I want you to make a short movie for me. In my wish to become a bridge to Hollywood. He's like, fantastic. I would love to do that. And then I'm like, but I don't have money. He said, I would like to do it for free. I'm just so excited. Like, what the hell, you know? So right now we are working in making this short movie.
Wow.
Yeah, that will be out, I hope, in 2021.
So maybe from a short movie to a long movie, and then...
I would love to, absolutely.
So
That's what Pixar does, actually. When they have a new technology, they are experimenting that new technology on short clips, short movies, 5-minute short movies. So I hope that I am intending, like there's a difference between hoping and intention. I intend that this short movie will be my test in testing AI in motion pictures, which will lead in its use in a longer movie.
great.
Thank
I
you.
hope so too. So we have a question from Billy, and he's asking, which position does AI take in your makership? Do you consider the AI more as a colleague or a brush you work with?
Oh, fantastic question. Thank you very much. It is not linear. It goes ping pong ways, which is for me, AI is nothing but an algorithm. I refuse to be fascinated by a tool that runs on batteries, that I can take the plug out and then it just does not exist, and I call it, oh, I'm so like I refuse to worship something that runs on batteries. So first and foremost, AI is nothing but a tool for me. A human is a co-creation for me, and AI is a tool. However, I can get inspired by what AI tool creates in relation with human ingenuity. Like these clips that I've been showing you that got my mind explode for the first time I got introduced to AI are created by AI, but let's not be too much fascinated. They are created by AI thanks to AI artists' vision, AI artists' superior taste on aesthetic expression. They are not made by AI, made by artists by using AI. So by seeing that, I consider that inspiration for me as a conscious individual. When I see these things, I get inspired. I'm like, oh, I have to use that in communicating mystic stories of humans becoming one with nature. So by taking human AI creation, I get inspired to create other things where I use AI as a tool again to create never before seen visuals. So for me, it is it's like a brush. It's like it's a bit of a weird word, but like a assistant, I would say. High computational power assistant.
That's a good one. So then, let me see if we have another question. Yes, we do. This is, let me see. Do you ever worry about how this technology can be used for negative purposes, like deep fakes?
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful question. It's a very necessary question. I think we have to have that question on our forehead all the time, but not like, here is what I believe. I'm a heavy believer that you make your own reality. Like nothing happens to me. Nothing happens to me is that sentence, things happen to me. Things like COVID happened to me, whatever happened to me. I lost all my fortune, my boyfriend left me. I'm treated like a piece of shit. This is for me is a very fatalistic very victim consciousness. Things happen to me. Whereas if we start talking about I create my own reality, is when you take finally the power of your life into your own hands. You are on the steering wheel of your own life. So I refuse to make sentences like AI, I am afraid of AI, or I worry about AI, I worry about my future, because I believe that the more these things come out of my mouth and circulate in my subconsciousness, I will create situations, scenarios, happenings that I will be scared and defeated by AI. So no, I'm not afraid that AI will create scenarios that I will be afraid of. However, I do know that a lot of people are, due to Hollywood psyche, the fear of the unknown, the fear of something new, the fear of high computational power, is the psyche and the subconscious of a lot of individuals that I share this earth with. So will there be scenarios where AI will make deep fakes that are inseparable from human beings, and we will be afraid, we will be like, I don't know what is true, what is real anymore? Yes, there will be. I 100% believe. But I also do believe that humanity is being separated in two, especially with COVID since 2020. I am so afraid. I'm afraid. And the other, come on, world. This is a new brave world. We have so many new opportunities. We can do these things. We can do that. We can become that. We're less polluting the earth. Hallelujah. And then we stop being afraid and hug each other more than ever. So yeah, the people that are using words like I am afraid of AI, of this, of that, of this, of that, will crumble into a very downwards reality. Whereas the ones that are see opportunities of making never before seen things, going out there, hugging each other, accentuating their conscious selves, loving selves, unafraid, co-creative selves more, will be rising more. And I choose to be in the second order.
And are you also saying that when you open the discussion, that's also maybe take away some fears?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think the more we talk about it, the more we talk about it coming from a place of creativity and dream and opportunity, and like at the end of the day, you shouldn't forget that AI is there to take away. Like AI doesn't have consciousness, so it doesn't mind. Like I cannot hire you to go into my, I don't know, like a toilet hole and clean it and work nonsense without being paid. Like you can't do that. Whereas AI can. AI doesn't freaking mind. AI doesn't have shame, blame, or it doesn't mind working 24 hours 7. So like humanities have been subject to really a lot of shit jobs. I'm sorry. Like repetitive, shit, dull, dirty, dangerous, uninteresting jobs. How about AI does that shit? And how about we focus on our creativity? How about we focus on being more loving? How about we work on ourselves to be more giving, caring, sharing, all these feminine virtues that we have been neglecting in our patriarchal system lives? How about we become one with ourselves? How about we are much more interested, becoming more interested in exploring our non-visible lives, like mystic journeys, spiritual selves, feeling world, right? How about we do that? How about we become visionaries while AI takes care of the repetitive and uninteresting computational tasks? So that's why if anyone calls themselves, I work with AI, or I'm an expert in AI, or I'm a visionary of AI, I'm sorry, I don't believe in that unless they are coming from a place of full human, full consciousness, full like potential of expanding our human selves point of view.
So, amen.
Yeah, please.
So, let's wrap this up. So, thank you so much, Pinar, for joining us again. I will say bye now.
Yeah, thank you very much for
you.
inviting me and giving me the space to express myself. Thank you.
Thank you. So thanks everybody for watching. We will continue with the program in around 15 minutes. We talk about games, why games, on crossovers between mixed reality games and art. Make sure to tune in again. And after that, at 8, we have another event, BRELF by Simon Sen. So that's a paid event, so I hope you got your ticket. So have a good night and see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.